Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at the Hatsan 125 Sniper Vortex gas piston powered 22 caliber air rifle. Earlier we reviewed the Hatsan 125 Sniper spring piston version, and we're going to kind of compare the two. As to the spring version, this gun is 48.8 inches long, weighs 9 pounds, has a 19.5-inch barrel, including the noise moderator or muzzle brake. The muzzle brake is 1.25 inches in diameter, 7 3/4 inches long. Nice blued barrel, just like its predecessor. It's made with German steel. It's very nice work. True glow fiber optic sights up front and true glow fiber optic sights in the back. Micro click adjustable for elevation and windage. This is the model 125 Sniper with the Quattro trigger and the Vortex piston. It has the shock absorber system in it. The same rubber inlays on the forearm and on the grip. It's got the dual dovetail weaver mount for your scope. It comes with the Optima 3 to 9 by 32 scope, which we're not going to mount yet. And it's got a scope stop pin. It's got 2 settings for your scope stop, and the Quattro trigger and the safety. It automatic goes in when you cock. You pull it back to fire. Here's the Quattro trigger. It's got a vertically adjustable comb so you can adjust your cheek rest like this. It's got the triple inserts that can go into the stock to lengthen your stock. A nice rubber butt pad, soft, very nice. Like I said, the gun weighs 9 pounds, and this rifle does cock easier than the spring version. The spring version, I have measured it several times at 51 pounds cocking effort. This one, I measured it quite a few times. One time I did get a 47 pound reading, but I tried it for a half a dozen other times, and the highest reading I could get was 45, and different parts of the cocking cycle were 35 pounds, 37 pounds. But through the hardest part of the cocking cycle, it was like 42.5 to 45 pounds. So it is definitely easier to cock. But when you start talking about cocking effort, that's the energy you're using to generate the pellet velocity, and energy creates energy. Well, so far this gun has not surprised me, nor has it disappointed me. It is actually a couple of decibels quieter than the spring version. I got 95.9 decibels with the spring version. The maximum decibel reading I got with this Vortex piston was 93.6. So it's a couple of decibels quieter. That is nice. As far as power, we got exactly what I expected. We had a 2 to 3 foot-pound of energy drop off from the spring to the Vortex. It's rated at 1,000 feet per second, shooting 11.9 grain lead pellets. This one had a low of 946.1, a high of 981.5, for an average of 961.8. A high extreme spread, and only 24.45 foot-pounds muzzle energy. Okay, I'm going to put the numbers up on the screen so you can see them. You can pause and take a look, and then we'll talk more from there. Okay, unbelievably, the most consistent pellet we tried was the Crossman Premier 14.3 grain. It had a low of 914.9, a high of 924.9, an average of 921. Extreme spread was 10 feet per second, standard deviation was 4. They did produce 26.94 foot-pounds muzzle energy. The most powerful pellet was the Gammo Hunter 15.43 grain. It had a low of 893.2, a high of 907.1, average of 897.2. Extreme spread was 13.92 feet per second, standard deviation 5.86. So it is a pretty consistent shooting gun, just like the spring version. The average good pellet shot somewhere between 10 and 11 foot per second extreme spread. So it's just about identical consistency as far as, pellet speed to the spring version. The spring version generated a maximum muzzle energy of 30.28 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. That was shooting the Gammo Match 15.43. This one topped out at 27.59 shooting the Gammo Hunter 15.43. So about 2 3/4 foot-pounds of muzzle energy less. That's not bad considering it is that much easier to cock. When I cock the spring version, I've got to concentrate all the way through to the end or the gun won't latch. I never have to even think about that cocking. The nitro piston version is just easier to cock. I suppose no review would be complete without a shooting demonstration, an accuracy test, since it's just barely above 0 Fahrenheit and about 17 degrees below 0 centigrade. We're just going to do a little 28-foot indoor using open sights shooting from the shoulder. And we'll see how this gun does. I have not touched the sights on this thing yet. Wow, I did not know I was that good a shot. Now, this is definitely one of the more accurate gun shooting from the shoulder that I have shot. I really enjoy it. You're going to go after a bird or a squirrel at 28-30 feet, even with open sights, this thing, you're going to nail it shooting from the shoulder. Without the weight of the scope on there, it's a little bit lighter and a little bit easier to handle. I really do like the rifle. As far as do I think it's worth $40 more than the spring version, I won't know until I do a cold weather shooting test with the two of them. I'll try and get to that a little bit later this week. But this gun is down in the, I'd say, the exact same class as the Benjamin Trail NPXL. They're less than a half pound of muzzle energy apart. This gun sells for about $300 with a 3 to 9x32 non-adjustable objective scope. The Benjamin Trail NPXL is just about the same. They both come with a sling. The Benjamin Trail NPXL comes with a 3 to 9x40 millimeter adjustable objective mil-dot reticle scope. That's a big step up. You do have to play with the trigger on the Benjamin. I have installed a GRT3 in mine, but you can also do the RC bearing in it to cut down your travel. This gun comes with a very nice Quattro trigger. You do not have to play with the trigger. By the time you get the two rifles equal with trigger and scope, this gun is going to be more expensive than the Benjamin Trail by quite a bit, because the scope is the big expenditure. So I would say the two guns are about equal. As far as the spring version versus the nitro piston, with the extra 2 to 3 foot-pounds of muzzle energy and $40 less money, my money's on the spring version. Granted, you can go out and shoot this in colder weather, but my 30-degree shooting test with the spring guns, there was such a minimal drop in pellet velocity at that temperature. I don't know who's going to go out shooting an air rifle much colder weather. My review will not be complete until the weather warms up just a little bit, where I can do out and do a 20-yard or a 20-meter accuracy test with this one to see if it's as accurate as the spring version. For now, that's about all I really have to say about the Vortex rifle. It's $40 more and a little bit less power, but it is easier to cock. So you'll have to make up your own mind there. And we'll finish off this review after we do the accuracy test outdoors. Thank you for watching.